I think we had a pretty active. What's up, dude? I think we had a pretty active
Oh, man.
open mat for Saturday. So
Yep.
I know I was dog tired by the end of it. Josh keeps calling me out for this first round. We're all dry. It's not fun. We got Sawyer and Cooper going at it too. I don't think we see Sawyer train too much during the open mat, so I'm glad to see he's getting some time in with his brother.
That is good.
Yeah. Someone does hit their face on the mat. Man, it's doing that flashing garbage again.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Whatever. Yeah, dude, these are binaural beats. And no, they're totally not. So with the, I think Josh goes to take a shot there. Not really. Maybe just, I think Josh, your head may have just been a little low. Like your head position's kind of weak here, so I just kind of took advantage as you came in. I don't remember. I don't think I got you to the ground on this one. You laughed at me really hard for some reason. We'll see in a second. Or maybe that was another takedown. Then is that you with, yeah, you and Chris?
Yeah, it's me and Chris. I do a whole lot of nothing. I wind up being really tired after this match because all I'm trying to do is get around his guard.
Yeah, I know we've talked a lot about his guard over the last few months, and I think I've just settled on the best approach against him. I think I have the best luck with using the threat of submission to get around his guard. Other than that, he's just very good at finding the little space to get his leg back in and easily get a good re-guard.
Yeah, I am bound and determined to get a pass up the middle with him with no threat of submission. I just want to pass, I'll say, naturally, organically.
Just spam knee cuts.
Yeah.
Is that James and Brandon, I think? I feel like I haven't seen the two of them train together in a while. James coming up on that octopus guard, whatever people want to call it. Nice.
Switches. Yeah.
Let's see. So Brandon looking to get the leg free. I like what Brandon's doing here. He's hooking the left leg with his right arm. He's got his knee in a good position. I think his next move here is to get this knee across the hip and start to either extract his leg or spin the leg to enter into a leg attack. But this is cool. I don't think I've ever really considered doing this. James does it really well here. He just switches instead of like posting. Like this is I think probably where I find myself. It's like post in the armpit, try to get them off balance, in that direction. James switches here, takes that over the back grip, sits up and gets his legs out, and then hits a nice heavy sprawl. That was nice, James. Did I? Yeah. No, Josh and I haven't stood up yet. I guess I owe it to Josh to show when I face plant, because I'm sure he'll call it out anyway. So James putting the that over under front headlock position to work. I guess you can't even really call it a front headlock when you do the over under grip.
Yeah, it's a weird position, right? Like no threat on the neck, which is kind of why it works so
Yeah.
well. And that's
And we see
exactly
it.
what happened.
Looks like it. He's got wrist control there. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Brandon
the
dug that
wrist.
one out.
Yeah, it went a little low.
It's a solid one, man. So Brandon reaching up, trying to knee tap here, which I'm not mad at. It's a risk, you know. The risk here is that he goes to do that and leaves his neck unprotected. So he's got to be able to quickly bail on that, or keep his chin tucked. And then it looks like, James, if you had an elbow grip here, I'm curious if you could have kept Brandon from getting that arm back, like the kind of elbow grip when you're finishing that high risk guillotine. Just a thought. I'm not saying it's necessary. I don't know. But yeah, once he kind of retreated, you were on your butt, so it was hard to get to the depth you needed to get the guillotine you wanted. I think I go to like hit a Seoinage or like an arm spin on Josh, and we both hit the ground, but my face just hit first. Let's see if we can. Like I throw him and I'm like, bam. But I made him move. Mitch, what's up, bud?
What's up, Mitch?
Hell yeah. Glad you're here. So there was another, speaking of spamming moves, just more of the same here. I'm working from the underhook this time instead of the whizzer. Step in right there for like a Haragoshi all the way across. As Josh's head goes down, my arm goes up. It's funny, I don't think any of us are ever going to hit Uchimatas ever again. We're just going to like
Yeah, right.
half-ass them and then grab the headlock.
And get to the front headlock out. Brandon is not letting James get to the neck.
No, he's not. He is letting him get to mount, but
Yeah.
and yeah, you went wrong. Still chilling. Ooh, what's going on here?
He goes in for an armbar, and then
Omoplata.
yeah, Brandon rolls through like the omoplata defense.
Just about switched to the mounted triangle there.
Yeah.
Oh, Cooper about to put his brother out too. Forgot these guys were getting after it. So Coop from mount. So I think Sawyer probably got a little lazy there, just letting his arm slip by. Cooper's not gonna let him get that back. Yeah, I mean, yes, James was following through on a lot of that stuff, Brandon, but all, serious credit to you for your defense.
Oh yeah.
So one way to deal with Andrew's forward pressure is let him pressure into you and just try to keep it going. Not the prettiest Tomonagi. I'm pretty terrible at them. But I'm also not willing to shoot on Andrew when he's pressuring forward into me.
Luke tried to hit the arm drag to the foot trip. He winds up getting it from the bottom, actually. So he goes in, gets a 2-on-1, immediately trying to pull in, but David rips it out. But then notice how you can do the exact same thing here from the bottom, right? So Luke lures him in and then goes for the arm drag and then gets around to the back anyway.
That was nice.
This is when I was training with Veronica.
Yeah. Tried to step over on Andrew for mount and got taken off balance, and then I did a really much more exaggerated step from here. So I tried to like gather his top leg with my left leg, and he does a good job getting me off balance to prevent the positional advancement. But now I noticed the entire side of his body is wide open. He doesn't have that like knee elbow connection, and that just leaves me with a good opportunity to take a very high, very exaggerated high step over and then settle in. On top of that, I believe, I'm not sure where, see when I get my right arm in place, right here. So I just sneak my right arm in into a guillotine position. So now
Is
I can
it high wrist or low?
I mean, it's probably low wrist.
Yeah.
Just judging by like how I entered into it. But from there, I could start to crunch in, crunch down on his head, and get the tap. Ooh, you look like you're in on one on Ronnie right now, but she's
Tried that. Yeah, I was like, can I hit this? Like, can I hit this switch?
Oh, so you went from the back.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an awkward entry, but I was just like, I went in to try and get the whatchamacallit. I was gonna go for like a really weird rear naked strangle, and I started pulling her left arm back in a to where I thought I was gonna be able to get to a Kimura just from the back, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed my hand was like right down there by her chin, so I was like, huh, let me see if I can throw this in.
You know what you have here that we never ever do is a seated katagatame, like the seated head and arm triangle.
Yeah.
As you come around here with your knee penetrating in between her arm and her ribs, like right here, she's in a katagatame.
Oh yeah, and just grab my thigh, my right thigh, and then try and strangle her that way.
Either your thigh or make a close hand grip.
Yeah.
That's not a move I've spent any time playing with, so like I probably shouldn't be giving like advice on how to finish it, but
I'll need to play with that.
Yeah, if someone misaligns and gets to turtle, and you just slink off the side like that, I don't see any reason why you can't enter into that position and just immediately threaten another submission. That's kind of slick. I need to write that down. Fast forward to Wednesday, and you're gonna see us failing at it over and over again.
Yeah.
What did Luke and David just do here? Oh, Luke with a Tomonagi attempt.
Yeah.
Notice how David falls though. He does a great job here. He stays very aware. He's not put to his back. Like, this is what guys with wrestling backgrounds are so good at, is like keeping their hips, their knees pointed to the ground. Like anytime you try to shoulder crunch sweep a wrestler, or what's another good example? Shoulder crunch happens the most, I feel like, in my experience, where I'm
Even
trying to
Sumigashis. Yeah, I mean, like even
straight
just a
up, yeah.
basic. Yeah.
Yeah, they're very good at like keeping their hips positioned to the ground and ready. I mean, like David was immediately back on the back into a fight stance, you know.
Yep. Yeah, it's frustrating. Right into a guillotine threat here.
Yeah.
Oh, but he walked around to the correct side. Got out of the strangle threat.
Chris getting the sweep on Tyler. I've only gotten to roll with Tyler like once. I think he sticks around for a few rounds at open mat. And I never get to spend too much time training with him.
Yeah, I don't know how much training he had prior to visiting us, but he's fun.
I think 6 months. He trained at, at another local school for about 6 months, but they were primarily gi. So he
Gotcha.
I think he gravitated to no gi was his story. Let's see. This is wrapping up leg week, so Let's look at what happens with Andrew and I. See how I get there. So right now I'm in cross Ashi, really trying to dig on the heel. Looks like I finally get it there. Wait a second. So I don't. Andrew doesn't have any arms in on this triangle attempt, so that leads to a very easy double underpass. And now he's weighing very heavily on my head, but I switch into a reverse Ashi. I'm sorry, a reverse mount. I don't really have an Ashi Garami yet. And then now I switch it across. From here, I'm frantically just trying to keep Andrew on his butt. Keep in mind that, like, you're not going to do any real damage to anybody if you don't have the heel hook. If you don't have the heel exposed and their hips are not off the ground, you should not be trying to hit a submission from there. Like, it's not the time. You've got to get them broken down to a hip, then work towards your heel exposure, and then work towards your break. So Andrew, I know, can pretty quickly, like, pressure forward, get up, and then smash me. So I'm doing everything I can with my triangled legs to keep him down. There, I didn't even have the triangle until just now. So you can see I kind of pop him down to his butt, and now I start to go on the real attack for the leg. So driving my head to the ground, trying to shoot my hand in behind the heel. Andrew's doing a good job burying it, but I roll through to get the heel exposure, and we come back down. On that roll through, I think I talked about this with a few of you. I know you and I talked about it, Mike. This is getting into the nitty gritty for some leg lock stuff, but when you're dealing with cross Ashi Garami, when you're on the attack and you're dealing with a rolling escape or someone trying to roll, it's really in your best interest to roll not flattened out with them. Plant your head and get your hips up as you go. So you can see right here, my hips are coming up off the ground. My body isn't straight along his leg where I can, like, roll at the same speed. All that's going to do from cross Ashi is make it very easy to slip his leg out. When you hike your hips up like this and make sure you're rolling in a more concave shape, it makes it harder for him to straighten his leg and slip it out. So you'll see we roll over here. Notice I'm on my head. My hips are up high. It's not going to be quite as easy for him to extract the leg. Might be right now since I don't have a decent connection. That might change in a second. There we go. But now, as we come over, you can see that little grip change I make just to keep a bend in the knee. And then before he can hide the leg, I shoot back, try to get my grip. And then now I'm in a good spot. I have the heel exposure. He can't turn because of my leg configuration, and I could start laying on some pressure. Cole had a cool sweep. Let's see it. All right, so Cole here working with the overhook.
Like a clamp guard. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. He doesn't have the leg up over the back, but he's got that. It's like the half of the overhook clamp guard. Yeah, I mean, basically, yeah. I mean, kind of a, not quite a scissor sweep, and I guess more of a Sumigashi style, right? The overhook with the butterfly hook in. But yeah, blocking the leg, kind of using half of that scissor sweep technique where you, like, take out that bottom leg and chop it.
Yep.
But then carrying over with the butterfly.
And James was digging with his left arm, so it was actually trapped underneath Cole's right leg.
Yeah.
So he had no base over there. It was good. That was a good sweep. Are Cooper and Sawyer going again? Yeah.
Probably. I mean, they're brothers. They're always fighting. God, Brandon with the double. It's so nice to see Josh get doubled. I love this. Driving.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
That was solid.
staying past the guard with it too. James, you got me really wanting to try this overback escape.
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I gotta see how it'll play out. I've done it a couple of times. I've attempted it a couple of times on Caleb, and I've gotten stuffed.
Yeah.
But you know, it's
I'm curious how well it'll work for me against some of my bigger opponents.
yeah.
Josh on the back now. Andrew and I had a real fun exchange at the end of this round too, just as far as stand-up goes. So his stand-up has been getting more and more crisp, and getting much, you know, also getting a solid base, making it much harder for me to catch him. But we just go on this attack, like he's trying to step behind me, I'm trying to step behind him. We're both trying to foot sweep, and we wear out the bell. Don't do it on call. I like low effort, high return moves, so I'm sold. I don't know, it's cool to me just because, like, you kind of like we're seeing, like we just saw Cole do, like he's someone's pseudo cross-side right now. You get a hand on him and you push, right? That's kind of an instinctive reaction, but you don't do that at all with that overback grip.
Yeah, you're turning the opposite way. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which normally, you know, you would think like that's a bad idea. I'm exposing my back, but they're not even really looking at your back at that point. They're not going for it.
Jeez, Kyle was doing the can. Jesus, do you see that? How many times did he?
That was against
He
me
really
too.
was- Yeah, he was not he was not giving up on these inside-outside trips.
No, and he nails it. He finally got
He
one.
does.
Right.
That was
right at
awesome.
Yeah, that was really, really good. Persistent takedown threat. If they posture up, they pull you on top. Once your arm is over.
Yeah, if you're like grabbing their lat, I can definitely see that. Yeah. If they start to posture up, if you've got that overhook and on that far lat,
Mhm.
they heist you. They get your hips up and out.
I like this. Possibly.
Oh, this is what I trained with Taylor at this time. This round.
Tyler.
Tyler.
Yeah.
I'll get it eventually.
That's close. See, I was stuck dealing with Kyle here for a minute. James put it to work again. This time, interesting, with Justin facing you, not facing the legs like we saw when you did
Yeah.
it to somebody earlier. Also, Justin, really not mad at this knee cut attempt. I like the 2-on-1 grip. I thought he had a 2-on-1 grip, like right here, kind of like Russian ties a little bit. Trying to slide through, just, I don't know. I think holding that arm in place is what stopped Justin from actually getting the pass, because now James is like, he's got a barrier, right? Just blocking. He pulled that arm right in front of his hips and is now blocking himself with it.
I'm a fan of like when I do this knee cut and I can control the wrist. I like shooting immediately in to cover, like to go for a darce. So I'll cover up that top shoulder, right, and I'll make sure that I get that arm all the way across the body. And if I can get them facing that left hand, you know, well, to James's right, then I have a really good darce. If they start trying to go into me, like, you know, to flatten back out, then they can see the pass, essentially. So I like giving them that dilemma. But here he kind of stalls out in that position, and James is able to really swim over the top there.
Yeah. Similar sort of grip. Not an overback in this case, but
Yeah.
did Cole just headbutt you? Chances are he probably did. because that is his signature move. I want to find it if you did. I don't know. You slapped him in the head, though. Normally, you slap Cole in the head after he headbutts you. Whatever. Anyway. Did I go too far back already? No. We are right there. We go. What, dude?
That was a really nice hip switch by Josh. To try and get around the legs.
Yeah, working
Rides right up the middle.
Light
Goes
passing.
right. Yeah.
Trying to get to the leg drag. Josh, don't do this like half-assed, man. Like right here, you got a good leg drag position. Yank that leg across, and then once it's there, try to bring his knees together. He's just framing you right now. I think you could easily move that to a leg drag. Proud of you, bud.
You find the keys?
I'm generally.
Is that how you got it?
Yeah, all right.
Was it yellow or red?
Depends on how the sun hits, is what he said.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Still getting smashed by Kyle. It was a long round. Just looking at James and Justin here. And then you and Tyler. Let's see, you got Mount. Okay.
You can't give Kyle anything because he
No.
I don't know. It's he trained along like a while ago, and I don't know, man. He hasn't lost any of it, right? He's just continued to get better.
Yeah, totally. Here he's doing a great job of trying to isolate my elbow up over my shoulder line, working from this like 3/4 mount position, and putting on an Americana, which I was actually starting to get really concerned here. You can see my elbow slips out, and that was the only thing that really saved me. My elbow was starting to get closer to my knee, which is, typically where that starts to really suck. I forgot. I think I end up getting out of this one way or the other. Yeah. So snapping down, working back to trying to get to a front headlock position, and then I fail at that too.
Hulk wound up getting into a mount in his passing. That was good. I couldn't see how he set it up.
Dealing with Josh's butterfly hook. The difference between waffles and funnel cakes. I feel like there's some inappropriate punchline coming on the backside of that question. Danny mounted triangle attempt on Chris here.
He's tough to triangle.
Yeah. Oh, Tyler's got armbar position on you. All right.
Yep.
So let's look at that. So he goes around. So first thing I think I would set up is my arm engagement here. So I could see the crook of both elbows, and that tells me I don't have a good, or Tyler doesn't have a good elbow to elbow, or like an elbow deep hook on the arm that he's trying to threaten. There are many different ways to break grips. I'm not saying that this is essential for every single armbar you ever attempt, but it's a good spot, especially when you're not sure how your opponent is going to react in escaping. You know, like you look like you're rolling him back now, which leads to stacking. Some people may like to stay on their back and do like hitchhiker or rolling style escapes. So as you kind of like figure out how they're going to react, you want the best grip, the tightest, safest grip possible, I feel like, on the arm you're attacking, and that's elbow to elbow. Then right there, taking the cross leg face over is not what you want to do here. So as Mike starts sitting up, like I want to see that this heel digging back, like, you know, like you're doing a hamstring curl, digging back, slamming down to the mat, and cross facing you to keep you on your shoulders. And then from there, you can start to work on breaking the grip, isolating the arm, all that good stuff. If you're going to pull that leg back, I feel like he was thinking switching to the triangle because he felt like he was being stacked.
Yeah, but his right leg wasn't in a good spot for him to make that switch.
Exactly. Yeah. So if that, come on, go back. If his right leg had snuck through to like that 3/4 position, where this leg is now next to the neck, not between the tricep and the ribs, then yeah, that would be a better setup for the triangle. It's not impossible to get there from where he was, but he can make it a lot easier on himself. Oh man, if Cole had both arms to use, I think he probably could have put Josh in some real trouble there.
Yeah, I think so. Definitely from some leg throw bys and stuff. And then just sitting into the legs in general.
Which is what I decided to try to do with Kyle, because just getting to be too much at that point. All right, Tyler's in a better armbar position now. Ish.
Yeah, I had my arms were pretty safe. I had like a figure of 4 grip on this one, so I knew he was gonna go and set it up again. I locked up my hands here to go palm to palm, but then as he starts pushing on my bicep with his hands, so then I slip my arm up into the figure of 4 right about
there
here.
Yeah.
And then I'm starting to push on the hamstring. And then once I get here, I know I'm pretty close to being out. So I put his leg over my head, and then I'm able to posture out pretty easily.
Cole, it looked like you would have had a Kimura if you could get your other grip in play. It seemed like that's what you were thinking about digging for. Brandon with another double. Nothing stopping his doubles, man. He's got the reach and most importantly, the drive.
Yeah.
I love to see it.
Cutting the angle.
Silly man leg entry at the bell.
Nice.
You're yeah.
That's your signature side control entry.
Yeah, right to the knee bar. All right.
Danny was still struggling to get that triangle.
Danny? Oh, on Chris, yeah.
On Chris, yeah.
Damn, he's taking Chris through the angles here. He's talking to him, telling him a bedtime story. I think Chris's arm is just it's like just barely keeping. Oh, he had his hands connected, so like you could see right here, like his arm is peeking through. That's not. I don't think that's a sure thing that like you're gonna be safe.
No,
but
it's enough to give you a little bit of time though, for sure.
Yeah, and when your hands are together and you could push away and kind of like get some space on your neck, that helps a lot.
I'm glad you persevered, Cole. That can be mentally draining.
Yeah, Josh isn't really nice. He's a pretty mean guy. Fortunately, we put him with the Mat Enforcer for this round just to set him straight. Brandon looking good, taking your time, laying on some pressure on Andrew.
Andrew definitely tries to keep you off from that, like, chest to chest. Has very strong frames to try and prevent that. So
yeah, and he's doing a great job here. He got his knee back in play and is in a much safer spot now. Oh, he gets a sweep. Okay, so he kind of shoots up for a Kimura threat. Brandon goes to hide it. Okay. Chest to chest is useful. You're working on it though, man. You're getting there. Now Andrew putting some leg entries to work. Beautiful. That's exactly what we went over in class. Andrew almost gets up and wins the scramble. What was that?
And then in with the double.
Yeah. So this is great. Most important thing right there, you clear that knee. If you didn't, you're in a lot more trouble. You're not totally screwed, but you're not out of the woods. So now with the knee cleared, nice big back step. Andrew would practice this himself though, so he knew what you were going to do next. So he tries to get up, then you take him back down. Solid. Little spinny move by him. Oh, Josh, you're just giving your back up like that. Oh, we got Ronnie over here smashing Austin. Nice heavy pass.
Brandon's trying to look for that far side Kimura. You can definitely start opening that up if you go into north-south. It's kind of hard unless Andrew really commits to a bridge for you to get both arms in the right spot, right? For you to get that figure of four on the far side. Not that it doesn't work. I'm not saying that it doesn't work. People do it all the time. It's just when your partner's expecting it and they try and keep that left arm down, or that arm down, the far side arm, it can make it really tough. So I like to come around to north-south and kind of wedge it up, and put him into that dorsal Kimura position.
Yeah, definitely pull Mike aside, Brandon, if you want to talk more about that. I think that was probably one of the first like big north-south breakthroughs I could feel you putting to work against me when you learned that. It's like, oh, this works.
Yeah, I definitely like it.
No, I'm not still mad at you, Cole, and you know that. He knows what he did.
We're not gonna relive it.
Yeah. Trying to bury the hatchet.
Josh, the antagonist.
Antagonizing Luke's left leg here, though. This was look how quick he dives in on this. Rips that leg up, gets the reap over. Luke's not in immediate trouble right now, but his leg is isolated. But now he's going.
He's gonna start trying to go for the cross side straight ankle lock. Luke would definitely do that. Oh, off balance. Get the knee bar. That's the question.
It's the reverse ashi. This is tough. This is tough now. Because he has.
I normally can't pop him down in this inverted.
Well, he has his other leg free at that point, so he's.
Oh yeah.
He's in a better spot. Like Josh didn't have the second leg gathered
Behind the knee.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, Brandon. Too close to the wall for that double.
That was a good
little,
round.
maybe a little tired too. That was. James, you should show Collier over the back stuff too. 'Cause I feel like this is kind of a spot where you'd work it.
Yeah. He'd need his right arm. But yeah.
You and Chris have good rounds. Oh, you're in on that leg. How'd you get there?
False read.
Yeah, okay. Coming under the hips, scooping the leg right there. Looks like you got the triangle. Subtle move here, but I think it makes all the difference. So, you want to sit Chris to your butt, or to sit Chris to his butt, and he's posting out with his right arm here. So it's going to be hard to send him in that direction when you like plant your heels into the mat with your triangle around his legs. So a good thing to think about, and you do it here, and I don't know, if you blink and you miss it, but I feel like you shift your body to a more perpendicular angle with his, like a more advantageous angle. So
Along the hips rather than
right
towards the hands.
Exactly, yeah. And like right here, just this little this hip shift where you're actually, you're pulling his leg out from underneath him as opposed to like trying to either push him or force him down to the mat. Like it's enough leverage to just give you the last little bit. And you see Chris is like, I'm going down. I need to start defending my leg and getting my leg free. That was a nice little tiny adjustment to make. Cole in on some heavy forward pressure. Now you're capturing the second leg. It looks like, I think you're trying to attack it here. I just can't see your grip. Yeah, it looks like you're going for the leg lace. So James, this is a good time where you can do what I was saying earlier, where as like, if you go to roll to capture that heel, roll, head to the mat, hips up high as you go over. And then as he either rolls with you or like if he initiates a roll, that's when you're like facing down towards the mat, that's your time to start digging on the heel and exposing it or capturing it when it is exposed.
told Austin this round that he better watch his arm because I'm gonna his left arm because I was gonna throw up a triangle.
You're calling your shots on your training partners.
Yeah, watch.
It's like, no. He goes in for a seated escape. Nice. What did I do there? Oh, okay. Just want to see. So James, I guess Chris gets his leg free.
Yeah, he straightened his leg out. I'm curious, James, how your right leg was in that configuration. Maybe we could talk about it tomorrow. Kind of the things that you were trying in the cross ashi. See if we can tighten it up. I mean, like Chris in general is very difficult. He's picking up on these positions really, really fast.
Yeah. We had a good guard pass. Stay nice and heavy, runs around the side.
I'm curious to see what he was trying to do there.
Yeah, I don't know if that was like an attempt at a back take, like kind of trying to beat James on the turn. Yeah. Kind of gave up position there.
And he's trying to set up a triangle on Brandon.
Justin was doing a really small thing here that was very important. I just want to point it out because someone asked this question. I think it was Jason asked me this question at class the other day. Like, what's to stop somebody from just like sitting down into mount when you're like shooting in, shooting your hips underneath and trying to get to like, single leg X or Umeashi. And I said it's the one knee. It's you have to have the one knee pulled up, and that's preventing them from just sitting into mount. So that's what you see Justin very astutely doing here. Now he's playing with a little bit of a different position, but as long as he had that one knee pulled up through, he felt safe enough to go to work from there. When you don't have that, you're running a pretty high risk. Did Danny get that triangle?
He did.
I think he did, yeah. Actually, it looks like he got more on the arm. Because that was a wrong way.
Yeah.
Cole riding up super high on this. Isolates my arm as I go to turn.
Mango?
What's up, Mango? Oh, dude, I meant to respond to your DM. I know you sent some comp footage. We'll pull it down for the next stream and check it out. I did not get it prepped for today. But yeah, Cole kept my arm very well isolated. My shoulder was not feeling it. Danny trying to double Brandon now. Brandon stuffs it.
Right. Yeah. Landed in mount.
So I haven't seen the footage yet, or like I don't know anything about the results. How'd you do?
Here's the triangle, James.
Heavy stack. I didn't get out from that one.
Oh, okay. You got out of it.
Quick run to the back. So this was an uncomfortable but a very fun leg entry on Cole.
Yeah.
I have been there before, my man. So
Happens to the best of us.
yeah, from digging from deep half, I work to get this butterfly hook in because my intention is to get to cross Ashi. I just really like working from there. So as I get him isolated, you can see I look to frantically gather that leg and get my right leg to the outside position of his leg. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just watch right there. Like that's where I get my leg outside his knee. I'm trying to establish my triangle. There I lock it up ish, not good enough. There,
secondary leg.
yep, there I get it much better. So now my initial intention is to, if I had that locked up better here, I would try to like heel down to the ground and sit Cole to his butt. But since Cole is so heavy over my head, like past my shoulder line, I just continue the back roll and then come up over on top. So I get to here and just kind of slowly inch my way back, keep my legs triangled the whole time to sit to cross Ashi. And then now I can go on the attack. Here I go for the leg lace as well. I think James, was it you we saw trying to do the leg lace earlier? I can't remember. Just something to notice. Just something I want to point out. Like I think I slide off a little bit here. Yeah, I end up switching to a wrist to wrist. When it comes to grip on this, I like to go elbow to elbow as best I can. And then as I kind of roll towards my back, I pull my arms across that way. And that, I find that's a really, really effective way to make the knee bar pressure the dominant force in this one. You can also really make someone's ankle hurt as like a Achilles lock kind of pressure, but I tend to go for the knee bar. But that grip is what's important. Chris coming over the back with kind of a clamp guard-ish. Alright, end of the round.
Nice. You went for an Uchimata and then backed into the cross Ashi.
Yeah. Do you feel like you learned something, Mango, at the comp? Did you come out of there with a new lesson or something else to work on? It's probably the most important thing about these regional tournaments for hobbyists. I think Chris did a really good job here, if I remember, of like shutting this attempt down. I'm trying very, very hard to keep the second leg, and he's not letting me. So now having to roll through. Didn't have a good position to do what I was saying earlier as far as chasing the leg and putting my head down first.
So now he puts you guys both in 50-50.
Yeah. And he was...
Yeah.
I think earlier in the week, he and I were drilling 50-50 during advanced class, and he's solid from there. Like, I don't want him to get anything from 50-50.
Yeah.
He's very threatening from that position.
That was a good exchange from the two of you.
I just want to point this out with Coop. Cooper, you know better than this. This side needs to be crunching down.
So I was he threw the guillotine up and like literally driving my left shoulder into his, like I'm picking his left side up and driving down with my left shoulder.
Okay. So it's more you than him. That's fine.
I wanted to see how long I could survive with the high risk position, and like to see if to see if I could survive at least.
Got you. So yeah, Chris gets to my back, and I roll back quickly, bring my knee up through to try to prevent him from doing anything else, any more damage. What James and Josh are doing here, like loading up for a big move. Had the shin pinned to, or the heel pinned to his butt. So something you could play with James. What's up, Coop? Something you could play with here, James, is as you're pushing this, his ankle in towards his butt. There's a good chance he's probably pushing back and trying to straighten that leg. You could use that reaction to quickly level change into basically a half guard with his leg up over your shoulder, work to, and then work a pass around the side from there. It's one thing. There are probably a million things you could do from here. I was holding too, so he couldn't pull. I was holding. Sure. Oh, he was pulling? Now it definitely looks like he's pulling. Interesting. I don't know how I could exploit that. I'd probably just quickly crowd that leg then. In fact, you still might even be able to like work to the same position.
You could probably shoot for double unders.
Yeah.
If that was me. So Cooper in again on a guillotine. I'm gonna do the exact same tactic here. Anyone who there are different ways to stave off a guillotine, but like what Matt was saying about basically where the strangle arm, you want to touch the near side hip. You want to give a nice solid crunch. Well, you can prevent your partner from pulling it off successfully if you dig in. So see, Cooper's got his left arm around my throat. It's a pretty deep guillotine. Like, I was actually threatened by this, and you'll see me take my left arm and shoot my left arm all the way through as deep as I could possibly go to get my shoulder down to the mat. And once I get my shoulder down to the mat, he has no strangle pressure. So it's just a good way to kind of get your partner off your neck and start to reset. Basically, it's not an escape. It's just a defense to not get strangled.
Right, buy you a few seconds, which makes a huge difference when you're dealing with strangles, right?
Yep.
It's all about time from there.
If I remember right, he did a really good job of starting basically like a shoulder crunch on me here later this round. Cooper, you did nothing wrong with that leg entry at all. I just escaped the Ashi position. You did a really good job of trying to keep your hips up. I stripped your ankles and your feet off, and then started to come around for the pass.
Tournaments aren't even about who's a better grappler. Weight cut, sleep the night before, gentle nerves. Yeah, man. 100%.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thank you, Mitch. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, totally. There are a lot of factors that go into that stuff. I don't know. You could make the argument that the better grappler would maybe take those things into consideration. Like, if you're just separating out, if you mean the better grappler as someone as like the person with purely like skill to skill comparison. I agree with that, but yeah, weight cutting always sucks if you have to do it. I probably lose sleep before tournaments more than anything else, just from nerves. And that definitely makes the morning a little less fun. Coop trying to break your
Yeah.
braced up leg, your ankle. I love it.
He had a
Cooper,
good
that's
grip.
what was that?
He had a good grip on it.
Yeah, and it's a good strategy, Cooper, because ankle braces create a lot of friction. So when you grab that, Mike's probably not getting out of it unless you get him out of it or let him get out of it. The octobus covers. Josh working from outside Ashi. James was like, go ahead, take the leg. Yeah. My general rule is just for myself and maybe for some other teammates who I've had to snap at in the past. Don't make friends with your opponents until after you've had your match with them. Just like you're there for one reason, and it's to bring his body to a point of near failure where he has to decide he wants to quit. It's not something I typically want to do when I'm nice to somebody, so I try not to be too friendly before. But afterwards, yeah, I'll sit and talk. I've carried on plenty of conversations with matches or guys from other schools who've gone against our students. No reason to not be friendly. But yeah, I'm normally trying to like get into the right headspace ahead of my match, just because even though it means nothing in the grand scheme of things, it's still nice to just like get there and feel a little savage for a few minutes. David's got I really like this 4-point breakdown that David does. He stepping in, gets Josh's leg out of the way, like he takes the leg away as the base here, and then sags the hips real heavy, hits this nice turnover.
Yeah, it was nice. What's up, Pib?
Pib, what's going on, dude? Shut up, Josh. So let's see. I had a cross Ashi entrance on, just to step in. So as James and I grappling, he goes almost to his side. I was gonna try to do a dorsal, but I think he knows that. So I work to a cradle position here, and then I use that hook on the leg. When I'm ready, I feel like I can make the switch, step up, pull the leg with me, and step around and across Ashi.
Yeah, it's nice because, like, generally speaking, when you have somebody in a cradle, they're trying to extend away from their, like, get their knee and their head away from each other, right? And so that gives you a nice spot to throw the reap in.
Yeah, and then it was immediate capture of the secondary leg. And then just as he goes to pull the secondary leg out, you see that's when I make my switch to the primary. So right here, he gets the second leg free. I say, cool, that's what I wanted anyway. For the inside heel hook. Justin with a run around back take on Brandon. Brandon does a really good job here getting his shoulders to the mat, getting misaligned.
He's very composed, yeah. Good composure.
Falls to the strangle side. Just breaking the grip, gets 2-on-1 on the strangle arm. Up and over the head, and now he's basically safe. But Justin does good to maintain that mount. Only white belt that day who's... Dude. Nice, yeah, you don't see too many white belts subbing with Go-Go's. That's interesting. We'll definitely pull that footage down. I'm excited to see that. Yeah, let me also write that down so I don't forget.
Josh is trying to do an over-under Sumigachi. Looks like he's almost there.
It goes back to what I was talking about with wrestlers.
You got like so Josh, and you very well may do this here shortly, but you've got to get his head over your head, if not like above it, right? Like further north. When his head is south of your head, like down towards your hips, his waist is very heavy, right, and nowhere near your center of gravity. Your center of gravity is like just below your belly button, and so his weight is way too sprawled out here. You would need to pull him up, get his head pretty darn high, and then you can start the Sumigachi.
He hits his forward shift here. Let's see what happens. Oh, gets it.
Did he do it?
Yeah, he gets.
I just missed it. I looked away.
Check it out. So David's doing everything you just said, sinking his hips back. Josh hits a forward shift.
Perfect. Okay.
And then with the double, oh, okay, that was double overs.
Yeah, and so there's another option for you, right? Like instead of doing that load up, what you can do is you can get their legs super sprawled out to where they can't base out or with their feet, right? So yeah, I mean, and this is like straight out of Marcelo Garcia, right? Marcelo wouldn't have been able to pull a lot of his partners above him, right? So you would see him, like in old footage, putting foot on knee and trying to extend out the person's legs away so that they had no more post. Gordon talks about it as like removing legs from the stool, and that's, I think, a really good analogy.
That's the stepping on the knees, definitely the approach I'd take more of as a smaller opponent. Yeah, so James had a great defense here. The hand fight was a real pain in the ass, and in fact, James, I don't think I'd gotten a rear naked strangle on you like in a long time, and I kind of wanted it. Just to, fight off the imposter syndrome I feel all the time doing this stupid sport. But after fighting very hard for like a traditional strangle, like I think I was under the neck at one point, and like I just couldn't. He kept disrupting it. That's what it was. He was pulling at one point, pulling my head to the same side as my strangle arm, like actively moving my head, which was kind of surprising. I don't know if we'll be able to see it very well from here. But normally people aren't like...
Interesting tactic.
That's, people don't brute force your head position too much when they're fighting out of strangles, but he was...
It's smart though.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they might try to move their own head around, but he's like reaching back, pushing my head to the side, and it was like giving me some trouble on the finish. So I was like, you know what? We're just gonna short choke him as soon as I found the opportunity to. So yeah, like right there, you could see his hand. Trying not to get the other guys in the way. His hand's coming around and like grabbing the back of my head and like pummeling my head over. And I'm fighting it off. I had really, really good depth, like penetration on the neck, and then I'm like, this isn't working. Why isn't this working? All right, we're just gonna switch it up. So there I get to the short choke. Yeah. Combo that with removing your feet. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you passed me, but then I just threw you off like a small child.
Let's see. I'm only getting caught up here. Did you just pass Mike? Probably. And then let's talk about what Pib says.
Yeah,
Okay.
like that was the next thing. I'd like to understand. I'd like to know what you mean by mid, because I think I've only thought about it as near and like near and far. So I'd like to learn about mid. Have you ever played around like the middle ground of
That's how
butterfly? I either try and get them in close, or I try to get them far away. Right?
Yeah.
Like I don't really play in the middle very much.
And my legs are too short to play anything far away. So
Yeah. Yeah, and by far away I really mean like the leg pushing thing, right? Or trying to overextend
for sure.
them.
So yeah, Cole, this was actually really good. Early on, it looks like you get the elbow isolated up over the shoulder line, which you guys always hear us droning on about. Okay, Mike keeps the elbow up there. I think you probably shift up to retain that position.
Yeah, as soon as he starts to
There it is.
shift up here, puts his shoulder over top of my elbow, and it like clamps this clamps my shoulder. As soon as his shoulder goes to my bicep, it does not feel good, and he's able to easily slip out and get up into a mount.
Nice. Being legs almost completely extended, except for butterfly hooks. Mid being more that your legs are bent, your hand fighting. Okay, yeah,
Gotcha.
kind of
Okay,
middle
alright.
distance stuff.
Yep.
That makes sense.
I guess I was thinking more along the lines of just like the sweeping from mid. I guess the mid butterfly would be more like setting up, triangles or arm bars or arm drags and things like that.
Yeah.
If I'm understanding correctly.
Josh, what did you do to David?
Got it.
What's this high mount position? Looks like maybe David's arm got in a wonky spot. Shaking it out here. I think, what did I do here? Oh, nothing. So working back to close guard, probably just waiting for the end of the round. Oh yeah, I haven't watched this yet.
Oh yeah.
We had one really fun scramble, I know, at least.
Trying to hold my jacked up ankle.
Yeah. Yep. Like I said, man, it's got good grips on it. Justin trying to do a little bit of misdirectional passing. Scooping the legs to the side and trying to shoot up the other side. I think that could be a little bit more successful. It looks like you just leave maybe a little bit too much space there. Chris might just be ready for that kind of thing though.
It could be, and it's also like you really can't. You can't give his knees any space to, make their way back in, right?
Right.
So like when he throws them by, that's great, but then you've got to like smash them down with your chest and
Yep.
try and make sure that they stay pointed in that direction.
Definitely easier to get the tap. And even this exchange with you here, like I was focused more on trying to get a toe hold. Again, all kidding about your bad ankle aside, like toe holds from outside Ashi are something I've never spent any time trying to develop until recently. And it's such a strange, I feel so like torqued up that it's not easy to get the grip that I want there. But it does, if you can get it, I could put it on. Like if you can get the grip, you can put the move on quickly. But it's I don't know. I find it pretty difficult to hit right now. I think it's a body position thing.
You really have to emphasize the turn. Like you have to
Yeah.
turn completely away from me in order to make it a viable threat.
Something I just ripped off of Gordon's instructional
Brandon.
here was thank you, Brandon. As you go to step your top leg over to like
Yep.
start working counters, I'm immediately keeping a check on it. Like you could see me swipe that leg away numerous times, and it was like, all right,
Yep.
I have my Achilles grip, so I feel okay if you start to stack me. Let me shut down the counter until I can like, get back to a better working position by just wiping it away. Every time you step over, I was trying to wipe it away. What was that? Cole and Danny. Danny just trying to throw Cole when he can't even base out. God, I did not want you to have that leg
I
entrance.
wanted that entry so bad.
So from an Uchimata. That would have been real pretty. I should have let
It
you
would
have
have.
it.
Yeah, I wanted that so bad.
I agree, James. Andrew trying to rip Ben's arm off right now. Gets the Kimura. All right, let's check this out. These guys came in later. Ben just takes a bad roll there.
It's a dorsal. He was being nice on that first
Yeah.
attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we went over this with the takedown that same day. But there's kind of a skill to getting taken down and staying in a safe position, which that was, just a good example of when it doesn't go your way. As Ben got taken down, he rolled away, had his back exposed, and Andrew was able to advance the position.
He also Andrew got it was a backwards Kimura.
Oh, from the grip.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't
he
even
shoves. I
notice.
think he shoves his left. Yeah. Watch how he gets the finish.
Yeah, yeah. That's funny. I haven't seen that in a minute.
Yeah.
So let's see. So you go into try to get into cross Ashi.
Yeah. I'm trying to set up a pass.
Yeah, that was a scrambling moment for us. So Justin really needs to focus on getting his posture back right now, instead of being so far forward and spread out when he's in Chris's close guard.
Yep.
Not a good spot to be. This is when I say you guys shouldn't be attacking. Like, no reason to have this grip over the shoulders on Chris. Just get your posture back, and then start working your guard breaks. Andrew get again? Okay, Andrew with the working towards a Katagatame. I think Ben just takes the early tap. How'd you get my back? I forgot.
I didn't. I tried.
Yeah, I was like really trying to keep your knees low, preventing the hooks.
Yeah, then you start diving in to try and go for my my knee at one point.
Yep. That was a fun scramble. I didn't even get the best of it, but it was a fun one. So there you were able to do the thing I was preventing earlier, where you step that leg over, start trying to counter.
And yeah, that's right. Okay, I'm remembering this. Yeah, I threw my leg over, but then you bent your knee really well and cleared your knee line almost immediately. So then I start going in to the outside. This is something that I don't really see too many people doing, and there's probably a good reason why. But the I'm trying to pull your outside leg into outside ashi. So you're pummeling your leg in here, and then I'm trying to really pass it across my right hip. And so I think I wind up taking like a scoop grip here underneath, and it's not wise. It's really not a good thing. I have to be very careful about like a flying triangle or something like that. But it's something to get you thinking about, you know, your leg is in danger.
Mm-hmm. Justin makes his way to the back almost. Doesn't have the hooks in yet, but yeah, Chris is good. This was I was gonna be so angry if this worked out for you. So.
God, I wanted to do this so bad. Once I saw it was here, I was like, yes.
So Mike starts setting up a cry angle on me. So with that, you've got the leg over my shoulder. You have the deep scoop grip on my left leg, and then you just need to clear my ankle. And right there you do. And I'm like, this is not good. This is not good at all. I fall to a side I don't want to be on. You start to get up. I really don't want you to get up. Like, no. It looks like, just watching the footage, it looks like you just kind of gave it up. But like, being in there, I knew that you were really going for it. I was trying to really, like, I think put pressure on your ankles to pop them open.
Yeah, once we fell down to that side, like you said, it was the wrong side, but once you fell down to that side, I did not feel good about the lock. I knew I had to bail on it.
Okay.
I mean, we were going to run into the other group too, so I just stepped out of it. I was like, I'm not going to pursue it.
You would have run into them if you knew you had that.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't care who I hit.
Yeah, I was going to definitely push them out of the way as I was ripping that, for sure.
Yeah. See, that's the move I always go for when I'm in that position, you know, armpit shoulder push, rather than what James has been doing, which is turning the other way with the over the back grip. I mean, I just genuinely like this. I feel like it's so high percentage when your opponent's weight is over your hips, like, and they don't have a crossface. This is all day. You get that move for free. But I think if people are sitting in like a reverse Kesa, that might be the time for me to start practicing that move. So Victoria calls me out here, so we get our last round in together. And I guess Justin and Chris keep going. All right. So Victoria has a nice back entrance here. She crosses her ankles, so I try to give her a reminder why we don't do that. Which she actually wasn't very phased by, so I didn't like crank on it or anything. But so she stays on the back.
Trying not to heel hook Sawyer.
Such a nice older brother. Actually, let's see. Was that at the end of this round? I mean, yeah, just holding on to. So he. I don't know if we've gone over this position with you, Coop, but this is Oh no, you're fine. This is like, I was gonna say this is like an inside Ashi, but if your brother's ankle was on this side of your body, this could be a pretty dangerous position for his knee to be in. So just keep that in mind when you guys are playing around. Right now he's fine. This is just like, I don't know, you're not in 50-50, but you have like a straight ankle threat. And I suppose
That's cross Ashi.
Yeah, it is cross Ashi. He's just straight on with him. That's why. All mixed up. But yeah, don't heel hook your brother. Heel hook Mike and I. And Cole. Heel hook Cole. Dude, imagine if Cole's left leg got messed up real bad. And he just had like no right arm and no left leg. How fun that'd be. Coop, if you're gonna heel hook Cole, heel hook his left leg.
Just push his left shoulder and fall right over.
You'd pretty much always have diagonal control over Cole if that was the case.
Yeah, diagonal control over himself.
Nah, I know, Coop. I'm just giving you a hard time. I trust you guys. So Victoria gets to my back here, and it takes her a little bit of time, but she works her way through works her way to the grip that I wanted. So here she's under my neck. She traps my arm. I only have the one arm fight now, but she's reaching across with her left arm to like her far, you know, like her right bicep or something like that, and it's trying to like squeeze, basically trying to hug my neck rather than like strangle me. So I was holding on here as much as I could to try to let her like work through to the grip. So I'm stripping the grip. I'm trying to give her a reason to not take the hand over there. Now she does the right thing and hides the hand. She sneaks it right behind the head. As soon as she realizes like the grip that she's playing with is a very vulnerable one and not a very effective one either, that's where she kind of has the light bulb moment. Says, oh, let me hide this, get behind it, and then she puts on some real pressure and gets the tap. But that's honestly like one of the things I love so much when I'm coaching is watching you guys slowly work through the problems, like solving the problems yourselves instead of having us tell you what it is. Just like getting to those solutions on your own is super critical. And now she's not going to forget that. But if I was just telling her, do this, do this, do this, it wouldn't really be as beneficial, I think. What are you gonna do tomorrow, Cole? You gonna headbutt me again? I'm not mad at you. Now she's working through some legs, which I love. Trying to put some of those things we learned. Now she puts me into an inside Ashi, which, Cooper, this is the position I was talking about that could be a little sketchy on the knee. I'm fine-ish right now, but I definitely had to turn with it. And then at some point she switched. Yeah, now she's doing like she's not going for a heel hook. She just has a straight ankle, and her bones are just like digging into my shin. It's very uncomfortable. So Justin's trying to make some big moves here to get out of Chris's mount. But I think
arms are isolated above his head, so he's not going to do too much there.
Well, like I think right here, see, now is where it gets isolated, right? And yeah, those big moves aren't going to... Chris is riding kind of high, right? Well, he was riding a little high. Before that, though, I'd really like to see Justin working the elbow escape, right? Just the 101... Instead of hugging over Chris's back or over his neck like he's doing right now, Justin, if you watch this, this is, you know, this is not doing anything for you, right? It's controlling Chris's posture, but like posture isn't a great concern of his. And a real big concern of yours is your elbow being isolated. So you're isolating your own elbow when you do this. Instead, keep those elbows tight to your ribs. I actually go over this with Victoria in this round too. This is where you're gonna want to, like, it's at this point it's bad. Your arm's isolated, but working the elbow escape is gonna be much more effective, I think, than those big bridging motions that Chris is just going to ride out and then settle back in. Yeah, he may have. I'm not sure. So here, same thing. I get Victoria into mount, and I think I ride here for a little bit. And I just wasn't seeing good enough escape attempts, so I wanted to kind of get her mind back on the elbow escape. So we go over it from here. And then Justin, this is just more of the same comments earlier, right? Like, you're in Chris's guard, you don't want to get overextended, you don't want to be attacking his arms, attacking his head. You want good posture. And you want to break the legs open. Those are your primary concerns from here. Riding up Chris gets the butterfly hook here. Now this is Sweep City.
Yep. And from this is a back take.
Yeah.
Trying to get 2-on-1. Is he? Yeah, he's trying.
Yeah, this is tough. Grabbing the forearm is like, it's only going to get you so far. You really got to fight the hands there, but
he survived.
A little too late, but regardless, great wrap up to our 2 weeks of leg attacking. So thank you, Josh. Super good stuff. I hope you guys
drive that little red Corvette sometime.
Yeah, man.
I want to see it.
Yeah, bring it up to class. Bring a picture. Let's see a picture
with a raspberry beret.
With you, yeah,
one.
With you standing next to it too. Like we got to know that it's really possibly yours. This is me. Okay, bye, Cole. Anyway, thank you guys for sticking around on your Sunday night. We always appreciate that, and thanks for the good training. You guys did great. Yeah, no Photoshop. You guys did great through the leg week. I know it's one of the more intimidating 2-week periods we do, just because not everybody's as literate with legs, or they think they're not, but it's really not that hard, which I hope you guys kind of learn. So in any case, follow us here if you're lurking in the chat. Thank you, Pib.
Thanks,
Same to you, bro.
You too.
Give us a follow, give us a subscription if you can. If you like what you're seeing, you can use your Twitch Prime as well, and follow us over on YouTube, where we will post this for you guys to review. In the meantime, I think we are going back to close guard starting tomorrow, so you guys be ready for that. What else? Anything else?
I think that's it. Getting ready for some tournaments coming up in October.
Maybe. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Luke wants to do IBJJF, so let us know if you guys are interested in competing. Thank you, Cooper. Thank you for all the comments, man.
Thanks.
And yeah, we'll get you guys ready for it. So in any case, go trim your nails, do your laundry, and don't be stinky. And we will see you guys back on the mats. Later.
Later.